So this video clip is to demonstrate how to create a single instrument that plays across the whole keys of the sampler. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go and convert this tool here, the command click tool. I'm going to select, I should say, the scissors. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to select the scissors tool. Let me just play back this sound. This is the sound of my wine glass. There we go, and there it is. It plays all along here. So I'm going to press my command button and I can position my cursor over the sound file. And I'm just going to clip quite close to the beginning and quite close to the end. Once I've done that, I'm going to use my left mouse button to click and hold, and I'm going to drag this clip down to here. There is no track selected here, but if I drag it down and drag it to the side here, it'll allow me to create a sampler instrument. So here we go. Click, hold, and can you see it now says drag regions here to create instrument tracks. So I'm going to just drag this until I get to here, and I'm going to select quick sampler in brackets original. And there it is. There's my sound. So if I press play on the keyboard, and there are a few things that I can do. So I can trim this up a little bit so it comes straight in, and up here I can do a fade in. The longer I drag it, the further I drag it, the greater the fade in. But I'm just going to do a tiny little fade in. And I'm going to do a little bit of a fade out as well. And then, because I want this to play, so I want to be able to hold it down. So let me just hold it down and we'll see how long it lasts. And that's about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on this little icon here, which is the fade out icon, and I'm going to select auto loop. And it'll find a loop, and hopefully it'll loop without clicking. So let's play. And there it is. There are various things that we can do. I'm not going to go too much into this because this is just an entry level sort of look at the digital sampler in Logic Pro X. But I can change the pitch for the sound. I can change it coarse or fine. I can have glide, which will allow it to glissando between the different notes. I'm not going to bother with that either. Feel free to play. Feel free to play with all of this stuff and see what you get. I'm not going to press one shot. Well, what one shot does, it means that when you press play, it'll play, when you press a key rather, it'll play the whole of the note, the whole of the sound, regardless of whether you keep your finger on the key or not. And this is very handy for drum sounds and for sound effects where you want to just hit it to trigger the sound and then let it run all the way to the very end. But I don't want that. I just want it to be a musical instrument. And so on and so forth. Okay, so there we go. Now next I'm going to save it. Now this is very handy anyway to save it, so it gives it a name. But it's only really relevant if you're saving it on your own computer at home, because it'll save it into the Logic folder that is native to the Mac that you're using in the lab. So if you were to go into another Mac workstation, you won't have that sound. But I'm going to go through it anyway. So there's factory default. I'm just going to click on this little down window here, and I'm going to save as. And it automatically goes to the quick sampler options, and you can see there are various options I've used in the past. I'm going to call this wine glass synth. There we go, that'll do. I don't think I've used that before. No, and I'm going to go and save. And there it is. And I can then close that down, and then I can play. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to create an instrument where I can assign different sounds to different keys. Well, it'll automatically do it. So here are my sounds. I'm going to select a series of sounds. I'll probably fast forward through the whole selection process after I've done the first couple to demonstrate. So I'm going to use my horizontal zoom to zoom in so I can see things a bit clearer. And I'm going to choose some percussive sounds. So I'm going to press my command click tool and I'm going to select that sound. I'm making sure that I've got the whole sound, that I'm not chopping into the sound. I can always edit these down a little bit more effectively in the sampler itself. That'll do. And then I'm going to delete the gaps, the bits where there are no sound. And here are my sounds. Let me just bunch them up a little bit. I have no idea what they are. It's not really important. I'm just demonstrating process here. So there they are. So I'm going to drag, there we go, to highlight them all, and I'm going to follow exactly the same process. I'm going to drag them down to this area, which is not doesn't have a track on it, and I'm going to drag it to the left hand side of the screen and create a new instrument track. Down I go. Again, drag regions here. It says look, it says regions rather than instrument or region. I'm going to drag it and I'm going to select sampler chromatic map. And there are my sounds, and it starts at C1, which is that sound there. Now I've got a full 88 note keyboard here. You'll be having the little portable ones, but you'll notice there is an octave plus and an octave minus. And so if you can't hear anything on the C note, then you're probably too high or too low, and just hit the octave buttons down till you get to the octave range where the samples exist. So here's this first sound. So I'm going to trim it so it comes right in. I've zoomed out a bit there by mistake. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, I'm going to trim it. Oh, no, I'm going to trim it up like so. And there's my sound. Quick little cheat fade, and there we go. Now if I hit the key and I take my finger off, you'll notice that it'll only play for as long as I keep my finger held down. So in this instance, it makes good sense to select one shot. And if you look down here, you can see play, one shot, or reverse. I could reverse the sound if I wished. Doesn't sound any different really. And I can hit one shot. And what that allows me to do is hit the key and take my finger off, and it plays the whole of the sample all the way through. Now, it automatically assigns a sound to an individual key, but I don't like playing the black keys when I'm triggering sounds because it's a bit fiddly. So what I can do actually is I can drag these. And I can make a wider range if I want. If I position this, I can make that to play over several notes, but I won't for the minute. I'll just drag these out of the way. And I'm going to select them so that they're only hitting the white keys. Now this is entirely up to you. Whether you do this. But there we go. So there's that one there. This one here. Okay, so let's listen to the next note, which is this one here. Again, I'm going to trim it up. What I can do, I can change the pitch, so I can drag it up a little bit to see if it sounds a bit nicer higher up. Or I can drag it down and see what it sounds like lower down. That's quite good. It sounds like a kick drum. I'll leave that there. I'm also going to hit my one shot, so it just plays it all the way through. My next one, there we go. I'm just triggering it by hitting the key. Again, I can trim it up. It's quite nice. I might increase the volume of that a little bit. It's quite quiet. There's the volume there. Tune, volume, pan. I'm not going to worry with pan for the minute. Very good. Next one. Trim it up. And I'm going to tune that up a bit and see what it sounds like higher up. Yeah, like that. Next one. And I'm just repeating the same process again. I'm trimming it up so it triggers exactly, because the thing is, the reason I move these up close is because when I hit the key, it'll play the sound file. And if there's silence at the beginning of that file, that's what it'll play. So I wanted to come in, I wanted to trigger it straight away. I'm going to make sure I've one-shotted. I think I've forgotten to one-shot some. That was okay, that one's fine. Oh, I've forgotten to do it that one, so I shall do that one. And this one. And I could go on and on. I could go through them all, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to quickly just trim. We've done that one. Trim that one. I tell you what, just to be friendly. I'm going to reverse this one. One-shot it. Doesn't make a huge amount of difference. Maybe let's see what it sounds like tuned down. Yeah. What about tuned up a bit? That'll do. I won't go the bottom two, but you understand. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to my little drop-down menu, Save As. I could call it Trash Can Kit. And I'm going to save. By the way, always make sure that this is ticked. Save with audio data, particularly if you're working on your own machine at home. Click Save. And there we go. And there it is, Trash Can Kit, which you can then recall. There should be, if you look there, you've got Trash Can Kit. And you should have the sine tone lead. I think that's what I did, is it? I can't remember now. The other one. Anyway, it'll all be there. I can close this down. Now, the important thing that you must do is when you're saving your project, File, Save As. For the first time, make sure you save as a package and that you have sample audio data ticked along with audio files and the movie file, because you're going to be working to a movie file. And then just go save. I'm not going to do this right now because I want to set back to demonstrate how to use MIDI, which is the next thing that we're going to learn in this workshop. But there we go. That's how you create either a single instrument that plays across all of the keys, or using a series of sounds, assigning individual sounds to individual keys to create a rhythmic instrument that you can then use to create a music concrete, rhythmic orientated piece, should you so wish. Okay.